Appreciative advising is really a mindset. I describe that it's an approach of how academic advisors and student services professionals can work with their students to ultimately help them reach their goals, their dreams, their potentials. It's not about numbering students on campus or just stereotyping them into a given major, but taking the time to really get to know your students at a much deeper, more meaningful level. Because the better we know our students as higher education professionals, it enables us to provide a much more sound base of understanding and advice, and can ultimately help a student reach their dreams at a much more organized and quicker rate. I get the question a lot about how is appreciative advising different in an online environment, and I usually try to start with technology does not take the place of advising. It's simply the medium through which you advise your students. And so it's this idea that you're not making an accommodation or maybe making an exception to engage your students in a digital environment. It's just a different way that you engage students, and it shouldn't be viewed as an accommodation. That we are in a digital era, and it's important for advisors to meet their students where they are. And today's college student is heavily involved in a digital environment, and so to be able to provide that type of support and assistance, I think it's something that students are looking for and students are yearning for. It's an environment where they already exist, and so it's more so an extension of the advisor in a digital capacity. And so it's not necessarily advising differently, but it's how can I translate maybe some of my actions or more some of my the way I work with students. How can I extend myself into the digital realm, and what does that look like, and maybe how do I engage students at a deeper level without them physically being there in person. I think it's something students have been seeking for quite some time, and it's exciting to see advisors taking up that challenge. It's so much more enjoyable to be able to connect with students, visually. And so whether that's they're in your office or you're Skyping with them and they're on an internship out in Alaska. I mean, how cool would that be from an advisor to see your students out there just doing really great work? Those walls, those defense walls kind of disappear because, in-person appointments, yes, you have a lot of opportunity, but it's still in a university environment. It's in an office setting. It's the advisor's turf, right? And so for an advisor willing to take that step to step into the student's world, it puts it in a much more collaborative environment. And so I think you see your students are much more vulnerable and willing to allow the advisor to come in to their world if they're willing to make that first step and meet them where they are. FAU has really taken the charge up to meet students in the digital world. Appreciative advising, where I see FAU going is they're looking for all the opportunities. There have already been strides taken to offer Skype advising for all students on this campus, and I know training is coming up on that for the advisors. And I'm here today to talk about how can we better engage students in a digital environment. There's definitely all the signs now that FAU is acknowledged that students want this. They want alternative ways to engage with their advisors, and I think they're putting their money where their mouth is. They're putting in the resources, they're putting in the tools and the training, and I'm excited for students. I really hope that they can see that their advisors really care and want to get to know them on a deeper level, and it doesn't have to be in the brick and mortar office that they may be used to.